Hello everybody and welcome. We have a new hero details coming out right now from Overwatch on Twitter. We're going to be taking a look at that right now. Enjoy. Strap in. Hero 36, Hero 36. All right, so just a second ago, Overwatch released the details, and I took a look at this earlier, and I've kind of got some questions that we'll address here. For now, what they said is Ramattra fights to protect his people, whatever the cost, with a little robot emoji. We love it. The thing that confuses me the most is it says Overwatch 2's first tempo tank is about to unleash his dynamic and lethal ability kit when he launches with Season 2 on December 6th. So it's going to be very soon. And when they say launch, I assume they mean a full rollout on launch. That means unranked, possibly ladder, but probably not, but at least unranked is when they're going to be throwing it in. And we'll probably have a couple weeks before they drop it into the ranked ladder so they can balance it. A little bit confused on what they mean by tempo tank, but we'll take a look at that, the abilities, and we'll try to decipher it as much as we can. Okay, without further ado, we got gameplay from it, so let's check it out.
I do not fight for myself. I never have. Together, we are unstoppable. This is not my victory. It is ours. It's
Now, obviously, we got a little sig shield action going on, but it's more of like a deploy than it is like a release. So we can actually decide where it wants to go. We got kind of like an ability similar to Slow Orb. It looks like it's just like an area, like an AoE effect that he can send out. Pretty sick. We got some Doomfist action going on there, absorbing some damage. Some Zenyatta hand motions. It looks like some more intense stuff. I really hope these aren't one shots. I really hope these aren't one shots.
Fight with me. Fight until you fall. I will break before I yield.
Okay, what do we got going on here? A little bit of a charge up. He sucks the life out of people as he moves by. All right. Oh god, this is gonna be terrible. Oh god, dude.
This is not cruelty. This is justice.
All right, so just from the gameplay trailer, I'd say he looks pretty oppressive. There's a few things in there that I'm not too hyped about. One, hopefully his ultimate isn't a one-shot ability, and if it is, and they stack that on top of the fact that you can suck life out of people like Moira's right-click and damage orbs, I don't think a lot of people are going to be happy about that. But with that being said, it looks fun to play. It looks like a lot of dynamicism, so there's like a lot of different stuff that you can do with his kit. We actually have the kit breakdown here right below, so we'll take a look at that here in a second, because there's a lot in it that wasn't really explained, just shown. That's not really super clear from the gameplay trail alone, so let's break this down a little bit. So Ramattra is the new tank. Obviously he's going to have a larger health pool. We don't have details on that yet, but the first I think his primary fire, the Void Accelerator, fires a stream of projectiles in a fixed pattern, creates a barrier at the targeted location with his alternative click, I believe. So it's a stream of projectiles. So it's probably going to be similar to, I assume these projectiles are going to be pretty fast. I don't think they're going to be slow moving, kind of like Symmetra's projectiles. I think they'll be a little bit faster than that, but we'll see. The Nemesis form, we got Pummel, which is where you punch forward, creating a wave of energy with every swing. So this looks essentially like Doomfist's punch. And then its alternate is significantly reduces damage taken from the front and reduces movement speed. Okay, so it's essentially Doomfist's kit. He looks technically difficult, at least from the gameplay, but reading so far, it seems pretty general, pretty easy to pick up. His ultimate, this is the one I was the most confused about. Create a spreading swarm of nanobots that creep out in front of you, dealing damage or reducing enemy damage dealt by 50%. Okay, so nanobots, okay, so it's just in front of you, at least is what this says. So they're just in front of you. They deal damage to people in front of you, as well as reduce the damage coming from them. Anything that you are taking damage from, I assume, will also do less damage to you by 50%, which is pretty nasty. Especially if you're doing like a, if they're a very like poke comp where they have a lot of projectiles. I assume this means just projectiles, or maybe it means all damage. If it's all damage, that's going to mean that brawl is going to be absolutely disgusting too here. But any high damage comps, this is going to be a really good counter for. The nice thing about this countering poke comps is that they're going to be playing all together, all at one, from one angle. Usually, most of the damage is coming from one angle. So it means you're going to get a lot of value from using this ultimate to reduce the damage of people in front of you. Now, how far it goes, we don't know that. If it's short range, obviously, that's going to be better for Brawl to counter against Brawl. Or if it's basically anybody in front of you, that means it's going to be great. Much better for Poke. A little bit good for Brawl. So Nemesis form, transform into Nemesis form, changing your attacks and gaining bonus armor. So this was the part we saw where he like glowed a little bit, I believe. It says it changes your attacks and you gain bonus armor. Don't know what that means. I assume that maybe is okay. So that's with the pummel. That's with Nemesis form on pummel. So once you go into Nemesis form, it changes your abilities from the Void Accelerator with the barrier into pummel with Nano. So you're essentially turning from you're turning from a Sigma into a Doomfist. So it's kind of like your Nemesis form is just like switching from that normal default Sigma form to the Doomfist form. This one I wanted to see more about, the Ravenous Vortex. I assume this is similar to Slow Orb from Sojourn. You fire a Nano Ball, which explodes when it hits the ground, spreading a damaging field. Affected enemies are slowed and pulled downward. So this is actually kind of interesting. So this is like Slow Orb, but what makes it even more interesting is that this is fantastic for characters that obviously have a vertical aspect to them. This will include Genji, Pharah, Echo. Obviously, anybody that gets caught in this isn't going to be able to use their abilities to get up where they normally would be able to, which I think is actually, this is a very unique ability as far as pulling heroes down to the ground. It's going to be interesting. A lot of really cool plays to see. If you can catch some people, and I don't know how this is going to be, how big this is going to be, but it's definitely going to make it much harder for mobile heroes to move around. I don't know how people are going to feel about this. Obviously, this is a lot of CC and a tank. We've introduced another shield into the mix. So shields, we're going to have more shield tanks, which I know a lot of people aren't happy about. We have Pummel, which is going to be another CC ability for people that don't like being knocked around. Obviously, this is going to be another thing that they're not too excited about. Annihilation is very similar to Orisa's Fortify, so it's going to be much harder to deal damage to him, as well as Moira Suck, which is going to obviously plenty of people hate that to begin with. So it's going to be interesting to see how people take it. And then just to put it all of it on top, we have another Slow Orb that's introduced in the game, and it's just, this guy is just a CC monster. And after they stripped away so much in Overwatch 2, and to a lot of praise to that, this is going to be very interesting to see the community's reaction to a hero that's almost primarily based around crowd control abilities. I don't know, we'll see. I'm hoping the gameplay is a little bit more subtle. It's not going to be as oppressive, but knowing Overwatch, they're probably going to overtune him, so he's going to be very strong in the beginning, but we'll see. Anyways, that's all the information that we got on this new tank. I'm excited to see how it gets the lore going. I still don't understand what they mean by tempo tank. I assume it means that he's able to control the speed of the fights with his abilities. Obviously very CC central, so he can kind of control how the fights go, but I don't know exactly what tempo means. That could just mean being ignorant, or it could just mean it's a word that they're thinking about using now. We'll see how the gameplay goes. To me, it just seems like another CC tank, so we'll see how that goes when he launches on December 6th of Season 2. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about Ramattra in the comments below if you'd like. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Make sure to keep it spooky. Peace.